Hey friends, what's up? Philip here with Points of Philip, and I'm here because there's a really interesting article in the Wall Street Journal on Wednesday, and so I decided I wanted to go through it and kind of analyze how accurate it might be, and well, what I'm doing about it. So before we get into too far into the news, I want to ask you guys to like and subscribe. Doing that helps me and YouTube know that what I'm doing is helpful for people like you, and of course that means that more and more people are viewing the content, something I really appreciate. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get into the actual news and what you could do about it. So the Wall Street Journal came out with this article this morning, or yesterday, sorry. Using premium credit card rewards is becoming a part-time job. When redeeming perks gets more complicated, some consumers give up. Others make spreadsheets. So this is an interesting article. Essentially, basically, banks are increasing annual fees on premium credit cards, with American Express recently listing its platinum card fee or increasing by 29% to $195. So now this article follows Eric and Charlene May, and who have an arsenal of 14 credit cards for which they pay about $2,600 in annual fees. So they make sure they come out ahead, they say they diligently update a color-coded Google Sheet as they redeem the card's dining, travel, and shopping credits. So let's take a look there. They do list which cards they have. And so they have Amex Platinum card, and so they say that they get well over the annual fee. They also have a Delta SkyMiles Reserve, as well as 2 Delta SkyMiles Platinum. And so, well, here's the thing, I really can understand why they're having difficulties. The Platinum and the Reserve card are both known for having kind of more difficult to earn credits because while they do have Resi credits, it comes in a form of $10 and $20 a month, respectively. And so this actually means that you actually have to go to a Resi restaurant once a month in order to get full value from that particular credit. In addition to that, they do have rideshare credits too, which means that you can use those credits for Uber or Lyft as long as it's for the riding part of the situation and not necessarily the food part, right? So that can be a problem as well. And that again is monthly. And so those particular cards I don't have, which means like a lot of this kind of these day-to-day headache, I actually can't speak to. But I do have the American Express Gold card, the Hyatt card with Chase. I think the only credit they have with that is the free night certificates. The Chase Sapphire Preferred also has a hotel credit, and then the Southwest Rapid Rewards card, which we can get into because I have one of those. So here's the question, and kind of the thing that I want to get at is dealing with credit card credits becoming a full-time job if you have multiple credit cards? I'm going to talk about my experience, but I really want to hear what you guys have to say. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this. Do you have too much credit cards? Do you have too many credits? What's going on, right? Okay, now before I get into my wallet and how I deal with each of my credit cards that have credits, I wanted to talk to you about today's sponsor, and that's actually Points of Philip. So for those of you that don't know, I have a website, pointsofphilip.com, and on that website, I offer a couple of different things. So first of all, you can sign up for my weekly newsletter that comes out every single Friday. And in that newsletter, I keep you up to date on what's going on with credit cards, points, and miles. And then I also throw in a bunch of credit card offers that I think are worthwhile. And so if you're interested in getting that, go ahead and sign up in the link in the description below. Now, more importantly, too, if you're someone who feels a little lost with your credit card journey, if you're someone who wants to have a little bit more hands-on kind of expertise with what you should be doing or kind of where you can kind of refine your journey, I do offer some credit card consultations. I have a mini session, about 20 minutes or so, and then I have a full-on session where you can spend as much time as you'd like, and then that comes with a personalized recommendation document as well. And then I do have a travel booking session as well, where I can work with you to identify travel sweet spots and then actually help you make those actual redemptions. And so all this sort of thing I offer, but this week and this week only, I'm offering a 10% discount for the Creator Meetup. And so if you actually use the code MEETUP25, you can actually get 10% off. And again, I'll leave that in the description below. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into my wallet and what I'm doing about all of my credits. So I just kind of took all of my credit cards that have a credit and I've kind of just laid it out there. So we're going to get into this. And let's go ahead and start off with the American Express Gold card. So the Gold card here has an annual fee of $325. It comes with a Resi credit of $100. Dunkin' Donuts credits of $84 in total, $7 a month. And then it comes with 2 credits, each combined total earning $250. So there's a Uber Cash credit, which comes in the form of $10 every single month, and that hits your Uber account. And then there's a dining credit, which you can use at places like Grubhub or Goldbelly, and a bunch of other places, including Five Guys and Cheesecake Factory too. And that comes in the form of $10 every single month. Now, for my situation, I only have to use the Resi credit twice a year, right? And so for this one, this is easy. I can go out to eat with my wife twice a year, right? And then I get $50 off of that kind of trip, right? And so that is huge for me. That's very easy. The Dunkin' Donuts credit is also very easy for me. And so I actually, on the first of the month, I just go through and I add $10 into my Dunkin' app, and then that triggers a $7 credit, and then I go on my way. I don't have to worry about anything anymore. Now, the two credits, the Uber Eats and the Grubhub credit, I call it Grubhub because that's pretty much where I use it. So I work downtown, and so I do have to do lunches around there. And there's a lot of places that have Grubhub and Uber Eats where the price that's charged is either about the same or actually kind of slightly below what you could pay for directly with that restaurant. So it actually makes sense to do pickup with those services where I am. And so basically, all I have to do is make sure that I go out to eat, or I do take out lunch on my Gold card twice a month on the Uber credit and then on the Grubhub credit, and I've covered that one. So that's out of the way, right? Simple enough. Don't have to worry too much. There is a decent amount of credits, but because of where I live, because of where I work, it's easy to get value from. So that's a solid win in my book. Now, let's go across the pond here for the business card from American Express. So the business gold card, I use the pink gold, rose gold version. So this one is a little bit more complicated. This one has Walmart Plus, which I'm actually not going to credit to this card because I use it on my personal platinum card too. So this particular card costs $375 a month, or a year, sorry, not a month. But then you get $240 in business credit. And so this is $20 every single month, and it comes in the form of office supply stores or Grubhub. And so pretty much what I have been doing is I just go to Grubhub once or maybe even twice a month. So this is, again, covers my lunches. So every single month, 4 lunches are completely covered in credit card credits. And alternatively, though, what I've seen a lot of people do is you can go to office supply stores and you can get other things at office supply stores, including gift cards for that matter. So that's solid too. Now, another thing that's important to consider too is the Business Gold card recently started a new credit called Squarespace. So Squarespace is actually the place where I use to manage my website, and I have to pay that every single year. I think it's about $250. And so that comes with a lot of really great things, including my, email and stuff like that. And so, it's a great product, and I will continue to use it as long as I have this channel up. And so, honestly, having this means that I get a very significant portion of that completely waived. And so that's pretty much all I really care about when it comes to this card. So those credits actually really go a long way towards making sure that I don't have to worry too much about this. And so that's where we're at. Now, we're going to have to start getting into some of these other things. So we're going to talk about the Platinum card. So the Platinum card here has a lot of credits, right? But I kind of am selective about the credits that I care about. So this one has an Uber Cash credit, which actually combines my Gold card credit. And so that's actually pretty easy. So again, that's just another time and a half out because it's $15 every month. So that's 5 to 5.5 lunches completely paid for on credit card points and miles, right? And credits. So then you have $600 in annual FHR credits. That's $300 every 6 months. That's huge, right? So for since this is kind of a bigger deal, it's a bigger high dollar value, all I have to do is book something twice a year, right? And so for that, I actually combine that with my Business Platinum card, which we'll get to here in a second. You can actually combine this for one trip. Let's say that I'm going on a trip next September, right? I can book an FHR stay on my Business Platinum card, and that can be one night. And then I can book another night on my personal Platinum card now, and I can pay for that in cash. And so I can have, if I'm staying for, let's say, 5 nights, I can book Monday night and then Tuesday night at that hotel, make sure I have to do the same room category, but then I'm covered. Now in January, when these credits refresh, I can use the same method to book that Wednesday and that Thursday at the hotel. As long as I try to make sure I'm doing the same room category, everything should be fine, because when you actually go to that hotel, I can just tell them that I'm the same person, and most of the time they can combine those reservations, and I never have to like check out, check back in, things like that. Those are huge. Now, the personal platinum card also gets Resi credits. That's $100 every single quarter. This one is a little bit more intense, but it makes sense because $100 every single quarter can only almost be a completely free kind of splurge meal. And so this is really a great way to kind of celebrate with my wife. We have friends of ours that actually have platinum cards too. And so we'll do a Resi date night. And so the two of us will just go out, or the two couples will just go out, and we'll just have fun for the night, and it's almost completely covered with that credit, right? And then we have Lululemon, which I have been buying up some pants. I bought the first quarter, I bought some pants from Lululemon, loved them, bought a second one, and then I've heard from Uncle Luke that the hoodies are actually really, really good. So there's a lot of different credits here that we've gotten to, including the clear credits, right? So this has a clear credit. I have this on auto pay. Mine comes out of this platinum card. My wife's comes out of the business platinum card. And so we use that clear credit, and, we love that service. Now, would we pay for it? Probably not, but it is what it is, right? Now, there's a bunch of other credits, including there's an Aura Ring credit and Saks credit. The Saks credit I do try to use. I haven't actually successfully purchased anything without returning it there. So, I haven't really seen anything out of the Saks credit, but I'm okay with that at this point because I'm getting the value that I want from this card. And it makes sense for me to carry this card because I get that lounge access that my wife and I really do enjoy using. So that's going to be kind of a key important part. All right, so we talked about the business platinum card a little bit. We talked a little bit about the FHR credits. That we did talk about the clear credit as well. There are some business credits. The Dell credit we've been able to use $150 every single year, and then if you spend $5,000 at Dell, then you get $1,000 off or back. Now, there are some other credits through like Indeed and Adobe. The Adobe one is easier. I do use Adobe, but the only thing is I don't spend that much with Adobe because I get the education version of Adobe because I'm a teacher. And so pretty much what I do is I actually just use my Dell credit to do that. So I don't really get any other value from any of the other credits except for the $50 quarterly Hilton credit with the business card. And so this is actually pretty huge. This credit actually, basically, it's any sort of Hilton fee. And so again, what I do is I'll book, a night that I'm going to have in advance. And I just kind of, stack those nights and kind of float that credit until I'm actually ready to use it if I'm not using it this quarter. So I don't really mess around with the gift card things too much, but, there's ways around it. So next we have my Ritz-Carlton card. So my Ritz-Carlton card has pretty much one credit. Well, it has two credits. So it has a free night award that comes in, which is actually very easy to use. You can just book it in the Marriott app. So I just have to make sure I stay at a nice hotel once a year. Oh no. And then the $300 travel credit is kind of a lot, right? It's relatively easy to use. Now, it's not as easy to use as the Chase Sapphire Reserve $300 travel credit, but you do have to call in, but I like it. It's fine. I'm good with that. All right, now let's move on to my Hilton Aspire card. So my Hilton Aspire card here has a decent amount of credits. So first of all, it has a free night certificate that hits my Hilton account every single year. So again, I just have to stay at a nice place, and that will be that. So that's nice, right? Now, one other thing that's important to note is that it has $50 quarterly airfare credit. So pretty much if I don't have a flight that I have to pay to check a bag for or something like that, or even maybe award flights, taxes and fees, I'll use that. But if I don't, then I will just load it into United Travel Bank. I did used to do it for Southwest airfare credit, but now that they're kind of changing their rules a little bit, I'm definitely not doing that anymore. The final credit with this one is $400 and resort credit. Now that one's relatively easy to use because that's pretty much a free staycation every year. There's a lot of places that are on the Hilton Resort list that are close to me and around Orlando, and I do know that the Hilton Waldorf Astoria does take a deposit on prearranged bookings, and so that's a really easy way to use that credit. Okay, let's shift now to our airline cards. So we have the Delta SkyMiles Business Gold card here. This one gets me $150 in Delta Stays credit every single year. This one I wasn't actually even planning on using because I haven't paid the annual fee for the first year, so I really wasn't that concerned about it. But I am using it to stay in Greenville, South Carolina next week. And basically, that's actually allowed me to get a free night at a Hyatt place. And so would I have valued it at $150? No, but it is nice that that was paid for by that card. So that was solid. Now, this card also does give you a couple other things like 15% back at on points bookings and free check bags and the whole 9 yards. So that's pretty easy too. Now let's get into my City Advantage Platinum Select card. So my Platinum Select card here has a $99 annual fee, and it doesn't really have too many credits. But it does get you some wonderful things like free check bags and things like that. And so that's what you have to be aware of. Now, our Southwest Priority card, this one currently has a $75 a year travel credit, and then it gets you, the free upgraded boardings 4 times a year. But that's all kind of going away. It's all just going to be potential upgrades and, being able to book your seat ahead of time and stuff like that. So that's actually going to be a little bit easier next year. Harder to get value from, but easier just to work with. Next up is my Sapphire Preferred card. This one has a $50 hotel credit every single year, and I don't care about it. If I do have a hotel stay that it's after I've exhausted all of these other credits, then yeah, I'll use that, but I don't care about it otherwise. So, that's it. City Strata Premier, same deal. This one has a $100 travel credit or hotel credit after you spend $500. I will not be using it. I don't plan on using it. I just plan on keeping this card because of the access to the transfer partners and a bunch of other things like that. So anyway, those are all my credit cards that actually have credits. And so, yeah, it seems like a lot collectively, but when you take a look at it, there's the ones that I'm focusing on are relatively easy to automate. And so I'm not really that concerned about it. I definitely don't feel like it's a full-time job. But again, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Is it too much work for you, or is Wall Street Journal just making it too big of a deal out of this? Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.